Hey there. We just watched Digger Films' Stories of a Gravedigger, Chapter 1, the Dead Time Stories. And this here would be the Gravedigger. I didn't notice him on the cover first. See, the wraparound in this movie is animated. And when I say it's animated,
Using that term loosely.
But
Just
still,
as we use
honestly,
the term film loosely.
the animated characters in this film are more lifelike than the actors in this film.
That's also being used like loosely.
So,
everything is being used loosely.
Stories of a Gravedigger is pretty. It's an anthology, and
I love anthology horror. It's my favorite type of horror.
do you love this one?
No, not at all.
All right. So there's 3 stories, and I'm guessing this is. I know this is Canadian. It was done in probably Montreal.
Yeah.
From the accents, it seemed like it was done in Montreal. So, on that way, I kind of can forgive a little bit of the acting because I'm guessing most of these actors probably didn't know English. God, I hope.
There was some that clearly knew, and it was no excuse.
Okay, so the first story, let's get into it right away. Listen, okay, chicken boy. Come here, chicken boy.
First story.
First there's a wraparound. There's a guy dressed in a chicken suit.
I guess they're kids.
They're kids. And there's a guy dressed in a bunny suit. And for some reason, you have to take pictures of headstones because that will make them seem cool and make girls like them.
I don't know.
Don't try and pick any sense out of it.
And they get in there. They get into this graveyard. And there's the Gravedigger.
This dude right here.
And
anyway, so he says, well, I will let you take pictures of the tombstones, but I will tell you stories to go with them, so you seem more badass when you're showing your pictures. And they're like, we're not sure about that. But then he's like, chicken boy, you have to...
I'm not a kangaroo.
Dude, so anyway, yeah. If those references mean nothing to you, you haven't seen this movie. And you're probably better off than we are, but, you know.
Like, live your life in peace.
I gotta say right now.
First story, of course.
It's called Just Another Night, and it's about a guy named Johnny.
Yes, he's a guy named Johnny who overacts like there's no tomorrow.
And yet is one of the better actors in this film. Johnny is working at as a security guard at an asylum.
I guess.
And for some reason, that enables Johnny to randomly kill people and get away with it.
On a whim, and just...
I mean, there's one part where he goes up to this nurse. By nurse, I mean a girl that's wearing an apron with a red cross on it. So she's a nurse. And he grabs her ass, and she's like, slaps him in the face. So he takes her and the other girl and takes their faces and puts them down on some kind of like oven, right?
Yeah, it's like some frying thing.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that there's a McDonald's somewhere in there in this asylum.
And nobody ever notices it. And he apparently kills a clown.
Yeah, he kills a clown.
And
that's coming in.
Some random guy in a washroom. And then he throws like a patient down a set of stairs.
And apparently all this time this girl had hung herself the night before. And it turned out that Shock, this beacon of greatness, he raped her.
Yeah, he raped her.
And
also, there's this creature that like randomly walks throughout it that like makes no sense.
We don't ever find out what the creature is. We never see this creature again, by the way.
Also, he may have been not a security guard at all because the last scene shows like clips of him through the thing and with like normal like patient clothes on, and he hangs himself. So I don't really know what happened there.
Cohesion is not this friend's strong suit.
Yeah, no.
Okay, story
Second
number 2.
One. La Diable.
Which I'm guessing is kind of like the devil, but...
That has nothing to do with anything, considering.
Okay, so there's a bunch of people that are camping. The story is told completely out of order.
I just realized why the guy sounded so horrible when he was doing the story now.
What?
Because he was making up to, like, cover the whole he's about to murder everybody thing.
You wasn't the one that did it.
Yeah, it was, I think. Yeah, because it was the blind guy. It's like, then I'm going to bed.
Okay, sorry, we're gonna spoil this for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
You're gonna guess who the killer is. Trust me on this one.
If you're gonna be able to pick this film up, like, you probably have to go out of your way to find it anyway. So.
Yeah,
but,
you have to go to Montreal or Ottawa and be at one of the Comic Cons.
Yeah. So.
In a perverse way, I'm kind of glad I got this movie.
Yeah. So.
This is a badge of fucking courage for being a horror fan. I'm telling you right now, badge of courage. So.
See, these friends go to this lake, La Diabla, and they tell a mildly interesting story about two tribes that kill each other pretty much, or like one.
I wish that was the movie I was watching.
Yeah,
that
they tricked them and they killed the entire other tribe, but then the
other
tribe has
nothing to do
completely disappeared, and we never get to figure out what that was. I was actually kind of interested in that. And then one person dies, but we already saw it at the beginning. So we saw the person die, and then we see the setup for them dying, and then we see.
Then it goes back.
And then they do several other flashbacks that establish nothing.
The flashbacks just go back and forth, and I mean it makes no sense. It goes from color to black and white. Okay, this movie had awesome scenery. Really good gorgeous scenery. You know what?
In the second.
I could have watched that scenery for 90 minutes and been totally without this film. Anyway, so it's a murder mystery, trying to figure out who the killer is, and they're trying to throw you off a bit.
A bit?
But it doesn't. It doesn't do it. It really doesn't. So let's go to the third one. Room 66. What the fuck?
I don't know what happened. It's not even a story. It was.
Let's put some random shit together. Throw it on the screen. Let's see what sticks.
A writer wanting to finish his book goes to a hotel and asks for a room, and the only room they have free, even though nobody's there, is room 66 on the 6th floor.
Get it?
Which, by the way, is being
subtle.
They directly tell him, "No, it's being renovated. You can't go in there." He's like, "It's in your best interest. Give it to me. You'll get a raise." Oh, okay, I guess it's fine now. And they go in and everything's working fine.
So, wait, I gotta say one thing here. Yeah. I love, so he's telling this story. It's like, and so the girl wakes up and she's in the room that he doesn't want to be in.
She's in the washroom. The last room she wants to be in. For her sister died in there 3 years ago. He's writing a story and
the worst story ever. I think he's writing a story for Chapter 2 of this film because it makes no fucking sense.
Neither does the actual story because, as I was saying, he gets to his room, nothing happens. He tells the story that's like a rap at first.
A gargoyle shows up.
A gargoyle shows up. People downstairs, one guy disappears out of nowhere. A girl dies. One man becomes a monster we never see again.
There's awesome boobs in this.
In the last.
That's okay.
Then the gargoyle comes in and attacks him, and then he wakes up later. And this girl is like, "Oh, let me show you my breasts. We're gonna do it now." And then you realize her spine's weird, and she becomes kind of decayed-ish, but bad. And then the gargoyle comes back again, and then
he goes to sleep again,
and he appears to die again, but then he wakes up. And he leaves, and nobody's there, and then he walks out, and then
it's a giant spider alien
giant
creature.
Spider scorpions everywhere. They're just there. They're just there, and one walks onto a wall and stabs through the wall, and it kills a random guy, and that's it. That's all the story is. It's just random scorpions at the end.
And at the end of it, so they threaten us with a part 2. Kind of. I clearly see it as a threat, and you know what? I will fucking buy it and watch it and review it. But this was done a few years back. This took about 3 years to do, apparently.
3 years?
3 years.
3 years making that.
The guys that have done this have gone into more successful documentaries since then. And thank God, because the heart was in the right place. The guys were obviously trying to do something different and unique.
Well, they were every other scene is, look, it's black and white, look, it's blurry. They're definitely trying to do something different.
Let's shove some Vaseline on the camera and see if that works.
Yeah, the last scene before the spider scorpions show up, you can see nothing.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Spider scorpions were weird. But you can literally see nothing in the last scene. Everything's gray. There's a thick gray filter on the entire scene.
I would have been perfectly fine with just watching the animated shorts part of it.
I don't know about that.
It wasn't that bad. The animated short part was badly...
still pretty bad.
Chicken boy. Chicken boy.
It wasn't interesting, but...
Come on, it was something.
It was pretty funny when we first saw them walking across.
Yeah. The very lightly animated scenes.
One thing that we forgot to kind of mention.
What's that?
The very last scene of the live action thing is for some reason in cartoon as well. Because the last scene, Spider Scorpions.
Because
this girl appears with an axe and she's like, something that I forget now already, and then stabs him in the head, and it's like a drawing of his face with the axe in the head going like...
Because he could not afford it. And, but he wanted to make it seem like, oh, look, we're doing a very creep show type of thing.
Yeah.
This is not creep show. This is not even creep show 3.
Ugh.
Just saying.
Damn, it's fighting words.
Still, would I buy it? It's an indie film. You know what you're getting when you buy a movie with this cover.
Anybody knows what they're getting. Prepared, if they can be prepared for that.
But Stories of Gravedigger. What do you give it?
Oh my! I don't have numbers for that.
I can't either. I have just 2 what the fucks out of
Jesus.
10.
That's
oh my God! I don't know. This is just horrifying. But in a masochistically freaky way, I'm kind of glad that I got this film, and I'm glad I got to watch it with Matt. So yay! Is this some kind of like is this kind of like torture or is it child abuse in some way?
I think it's technically. Well, I'm like old enough now that it's just assault.
Okay, so Stories of Gravedigger. Check it out at your own risk. For me right now, before I watch another film, it's time for tea.
I don't even care.